We'll find out. We're live now. We're live, and I've got to say, right, welcome to the program. Very special guest today.
Is that why we're on early?
That's why we're on early, yeah. Because you two need to eat. I'm not worried
Well,
about
I
this.
don't.
I mean,
I don't.
I'm assuming he doesn't need to eat. Phil, who is it? And then I'll show people.
Sure.
Well, the Castleford shirt may give it away.
So,
I said
Have you
I
allowed
did
him
say
in?
I'd mention that.
How did you let him in? What's going on with the security here, Phil?
The for those of a certain age, and I don't know if you were born.
I wasn't aware of
1985.
rugby league at that point.
One of the great Challenge Cup finals. It lives slightly in the shadow of Hull and Wigan, which everybody says the greatest Challenge Cup final ever. Yeah, it was all right.
Well, Hull and Wigan in 2010 when it rained.
No, that was the worst ever. But the Castleford took on Hull KR at Wembley. Was it 40 years ago?
yeah, no.
And a diminutive Australian who warmed everybody's hearts when he came over scored the winning try.
Well, shall I show you that try now? Because
Yeah.
apart from if you're listening to the podcast, you can't see it, obviously, because it's a thing. But if you're watching on video, I've stolen it off the internet. So, what's going through your mind at this point?
I told John before the scrum that just have a quick look for me on the inside. Those two on the inside, like Fairbairn and Prome, was never going to get to me. I knew that. I knew I had him covered for speed, but I didn't see Lydia to the last minute, and that's why I just had to fend him off. And in my mind, I just said, if he hits me, he's going to push me over anyway. So long as I got close enough, and Gary Clark came inside, got around him, was quite easy. And then look, if you have a look, I'm putting gaps on them. They were never going to catch me, those two. And then, bang, he got me there. And then of course, George Fairbairn tried to take my head off, but he didn't.
He was renowned for that.
he didn't. And then for some unknown reason, he got up. He was narky about it because I got there, and it took it out on poor young Gary Lord, the fullback. And poor Gary, the blokes all come around me celebrating with me, and then because Gary Lloyd's the first bloke in going, good work, Jane, you score. Next one, bang, and he's just flattened out. Poor Gary. Everyone's patting me, and poor Gary's lying down. He got replaced, so it was great. And so Dave Rookley had to come on then. So, yeah.
So this is the hero of Castleford. 40 years on, still revered in the town. They can't tell you enough how much you mean to them. Ladies and gentlemen, we give you the great Jamie Sandy.
Thank you
It's
very
wonderful
much.
to have you here.
Oh, it's great.
What's it like doing that?
What's that?
Because we can only dream of scoring the try that ends up winning the Challenge Cup. But you've lived it.
I scored a try. I refuse to say I won the winning cup. I mean, Bob
15
Fearswell. I can say Bob Fearswell kicking a field goal won the Challenge Cup. Yeah, I was just lucky at the right time, right place, and I was just faster than Gary Prome and George Fairbairn. So yeah, it's just if it was someone more quicker, they would have ran me down. But yeah, I think when you from Australia, when you're playing in this, it was in those days you had to fly back home before the Easter. So we beat Oldham in the semis, and then I had to fly back home for a month. And then so you still got to give it all for your club, but you're worried about if I get injured, I won't be back for the Challenge Cup final. So yeah, so it was turned. Then after that, and myself and the other Australian, Ian French, and the old BRL back then, the Brisbane Rugby League, made our game play on the Wednesday night, so it got us a chance to fly on the Thursday, so we could have a week over here. So it was nice of it. They really did look after us. But
So for a guy who grew up in just outside the centre of Brisbane.
Yeah.
Playing in front of nearly 100,000 people at Wembley. Nothing can prepare you for that.
It's funny, you don't hear it like... only now, the older generations, when you hear the tapes, I've got a VH tape on it now, and I play it now and again, but now modern technology is YouTube. The singing and all that, you never hear it. For some reason, when you play, you just know how to shut it out. I don't know how we do it. And that's every sports person will tell you that you just shut out, and it's like clear as day. Like John heard me as clear as day, said, "Just have a quick look for me on the inside. I see something there." And my idea was just to catch the ball, go as far as I could. George Foreman, not George Foreman, Fairburn in.
It's a good job it wasn't George.
I know.
Because if he'd hit,
yeah, I know. And just draw Fairburn, and hopefully Tony Marcher would come straight through and had a clear one to the run to the goal post. But because Gary Clark obviously knew what I was up to, and when I stepped and then I said, well, I just got to go for it. I'll put my foot down, and even if I get 5 yards out or 10 yards out, we've got a good chance of scoring again. So it was never an advantage that I'd score from it. So it was just my mind at first was set up Tony Marchant and he'll do the rest. So yeah. So
and what's it like seeing the guys when you're back?
Oh, it's funny when we run into them and things like that. Like when I run into people like Tony and Bob Bismore and all those guys, it is quite different. It's great catching up with, like I said, like although it's everyone, it's still just 15 guys that experience that. Yeah, I mean you got Malcolm really as a coach and you got your support staff, but when you're on the field, it just comes down to your 13 and then the two blokes on the sideline are just as much as important. I think Bob Bismore summed it up well. They'll want to praise us try scorers, and Bob really said it's not just us three guys that scored points. It's these other part players, our support staff, even our office staff that gets us here, and that's why I look at it. So yeah, and I think it's great.
So how did the Castleford approach come about? Because again, I'm guessing you might have watched a bit of rugby on television at home in Australia, but you probably hadn't an ambition to come and play for Castleford.
Well, no, it was that there was. I can remember some players, even the great Arthur Beaton came over here.
He did,
and played for my arch rival,
Hull KR.
and then they stopped it. The international ban for 10 years, I believe, and so it wasn't until '84. Then your Leeds fans, my actual cousin is Tony Curry. He came over '84, '85, and I asked him about what he liked. He said, "Oh yeah." He said to me, "Look, you'll like it. In fact, you'd kill him if you go, Jamie." And it was it's a dream. I said, "Oh, that'd be great if I can go." And I put out feelers, and the club was really good about it, and they set me up with I was actually supposed to go to Halifax, and I was talking to Halifax all the way along, and then at the last moment, they dropped negotiation on me or talking to me to sign, and they signed Joe Kilroy. So I said, but then I think David Brooks, his name was, used to be the old chairman.
Yeah.
And he said, "Listen, Jamie, we're not signing yet, but I've passed your name on to Castleford." And it's probably the best thing ever did, really, for me. So, yeah, it was just one of those things. And, it was just great coming over. It's just a whole, you're coming from tropical Queensland to...
Not so tropical.
Yeah, so it was an eye opener. But playing in snow and playing in fog and it was an experience. I can tell you that now. So yeah.
And in terms of you've been back today.
Yes.
What's changed?
That's a pointed question.
The town has.
What's changed at Weldon Road?
Not much, but But they have got seats on the other side, so that was something good. And they're doing a lot of renovations now, and I hope they get it all done before the big match against Wigan. So yeah, I hope it all that happen and things like that. But yeah, so I see how it goes, and I hope they can do it. But get it all prepared, and I know it's like different to here in Australia. Like seeing as soon as it starts raining, tools are laid down. You don't go work out in the rain. And, where it's different here. So
yeah, well, we've got used to rain the last couple of weeks.
So yeah,
it's done nothing but rain.
Yeah, so it is. I think someone told me an interesting fact, and you might be able to tell me for sure. Is every day this year has rained.
Yes,
in Britain. So you know,
we had a drought before then. You wouldn't
it's
believe it.
It's hard to believe, eh? You know, like well, down where my wife's from. Maidstone, Kent, there was on water restrictions early in the year.
We were up here.
And you're going, bloody water restrictions. Oh, why? It rains every day. How can you have water restrictions? But
we drove across the M62 during the summer, and they've got the reservoir there. You could see almost see the bottom of it. We drove past on Saturday to go to Widnes. It was nearly overflowing.
Oh.
He won't be by the summer again. He'll have disappeared.
No. Yeah.
Maidstone, home of Kent Invicta.
Yes. Which Gary Hetherington played for.
Is there anyone he didn't play for?
I think there were a few, but wherever he went, it's fair to say left his mark. Normally he annoyed the management and they moved him on somewhere else.
And that's why he became management.
That's why he became management and was so good at it.
See, the strategic review is out, so I can't put that graphic up anymore saying 300 odd days since the strategic review.
It sort of sneaked out, didn't it? There was no big fanfare or it's coming out,
like
look
the Man
out
of Steel
for.
panel, which we'll talk about later. But one of I understand, because I've not read it. Oh, come on, you don't expect me to
144 recommendations.
I know.
22 pages.
Well, Wembley. We might move away from Wembley, Jamie.
Yeah, mate, no dramas.
You tell me how important Wembley is, because it's almost like Mecca to anyone in England who grows up watching any sport that we want to play there.
It's like Lang Park.
Look, honestly, like I was happy to play A grade back in Brisbane at Lang Park. That was my childhood dreams was fulfilled, and it was just like coming here and playing overseas. That was another goal, but the play at Wembley and good fortune that I scored a try at Wembley. I mean, you just nail it down as at least so one of two of the most famous grounds in my life anyway from rugby league is Wembley and Lang Park, and I had privilege of scoring tries there. So it's one of those things you don't plan it or things like that, and but you just do. And I can remember the night before we were there and at the Watford Hotel, and we talking about. So I think we had some radio person come in, and might be Air Leeds, like he said before, and he's asking us, and he said so. And he asked Dave Plan, how many tries are you going to score tomorrow, Dave? And Dave said, 2 man. I'm going to score 2 man. And so, what about you? Well, brother, I said, brother here's going to score 2, so I'll be happy with 1. And so, yeah, that was it.
I had tears in my eyes the first time I was working at Wembley, let alone playing there. I don't know, why do we come up with this all the time, Phil? Why do we always say, we're going to leave Wembley to go somewhere slightly smaller where we're going to get
Because I think the real reason behind that is the contract with Wembley ends in the end of 2027. So I think that's the RFL saying.
Right.
It's like a little bit of brinksmanship.
We're going to go play in Dewsbury.
It's all right. Unless you give us what we're worth, we'll consider going somewhere else.
Okay.
So I mean, again, obviously we're going to go through each one of the 144 recommendations.
I thought you meant on 144 third round Challenge Cup time.
No, we're not going to go through. But it's a wish list. There's no implementation attached to it. So, it's nothing we haven't seen before. In many respects, it's going backwards. It's talking about bringing back the Charity Shield and an Anglo-French tournament and on the road games. It's like, yeah, you're giving us a strategy to take us back. What the first question should have been, why did we stop doing that in the first place? So yeah, I don't get to. There is a comprehensive review in the new issue of 4020
which is in the corner
magazine,
here. It's red. It's got a red bar.
which is out in the shops on Friday. And some comment on it from people like Brian Noble and Amy McManus. It's what you do, it's not what you say. And for those of us that can remember Framing the Future, for those of us that even go back to the early 1970s and the Kane report from John Kane Associates, not Lord Kane.
Not Lord Kane.
It's all in there. We're talking about the things that we already know, but when are we going to actually do something about them? It's got to go back to the Rugby League Council, vested interest of people that will say I like that bit,
So
I don't like that bit.
The club-led review has to go back to the...
Goes back to the clubs. So, yeah, the issues that we need to address are not addressed in that report. There's some lip service to independent governance, so that Sport England will see that we're at least being seen to do the right thing. But so it's recommendations. It's not a list of what's going to happen in the next 1 year, 5 years, 10 years. Which the game is desperately crying out for strategy and not a strategic review.
Did they ask you, Phil?
No, and they wouldn't do.
Well, I'm just curious, because they said they asked a lot of people. So
No.
You're the... What's your job title at 4020? Coffee maker.
Yeah.
Did they ask Tony then, or Ross?
Chief Pillock.
It's sad because, you know, last year I think it was an embarrassment where they had women's rugby league. The ladies, British Lions played the Aussies, and it was the 90s. And no one wants to see that in international rugby league. It was, you know, so the gaps there, and they've got to have more. I mean, the best thing we have done down in the, you know, my part of the world at the moment, we have this thing called Pacific Cup. And mate, you know, like, you got New Zealand, you got Tonga, you got Samoa, you got Fiji, you got Papua New Guinea, and you got all these sides which is very, very competitive, and you know, it has built up those island nations like crazy. Like, you know, New Zealand's knocked us off a couple of times, Tonga's gotten really close, and I think it's great where some of these clubs have just really, you know, these countries have just learned from it. And, you know, it was great this year, or last year. You know, Australia came over here, but the Pacific Cup still went on without Australia, and it was still a strong comp. So, you know, you just have to, I think, look at that and thinking, okay, and like the Women's League in Australia is just fantastic. And, you know, like, I wouldn't like to run out some of these women's today, though. Mate, the way they tackle, I think I'd be in hospital after a couple of those hits. Some of those ladies that play the game today.
They're proper athletes, aren't they?
Oh, yeah.
I think the problem with Vegas was that result was all too predictable by anyone who... I don't want to say it, Phil, because it sounds like I'm being disrespectful to the England players, and I'm not. It's not their fault that everyone else is.
They
so
could
far
only
ahead.
prepare to the best of their ability, but they're not paid professional athletes, and you could see the difference.
Oh, yeah.
And we love Papua New Guinea because they all watch our videos. All of them. Everyone in Papua New Guinea watches all. Edwin Ipape again, massively popular on YouTube again last week. So, the problem we've got, of course, is we don't have the strength in our near neighbours, which the NRL and Australia does.
Neither did Australia.
Well, no.
Until New Zealand were admitted into the Winfield Cup, as was, and then you got obviously the heritage-based players deciding that they were going to play with, you know, the nations of their family, and suddenly the talent evened out. And
it is.
But it didn't happen overnight, and it didn't happen by accident. It was a planned way of improving.
Remember when Morgan Knowles was Welsh?
Yes.
He's now a Dolphin.
James McDonnell was. Well, we'll talk about the Dolphins in a minute because you have a connection with the Dolphins.
Have you seen the
quick?
Have you seen this news as well?
Just broken, yeah. Which full credit to Love Rugby League, Matt Shaw and Aaron Bauer. Halifax Panthers have been formally wound up in the courts in London this afternoon. Compulsory winding up order served. after order filed by HMRC in late 2024. Fax at home to Sheffield on Sunday. Huge doubts about that happening. This is going to move very quickly. RFL frantically meeting tonight to determine what happens now.
And of course, we don't have an answer to that question. So.
But I know, I mean, you know, you're talking about what's happening at Oldham last week. The week before that, we were talking about what's happening at Featherstone. The week before that, we were talking about what's happening at Salford. This is obviously becoming much more of an issue now in terms of, and I think we spoke to Halifax at the launch at length. I spoke to their chief executive, and he was saying, yeah, you know, it's still tough. We're trying to move, but it's tough. So the cup draws out in what, half an hour. Halifax are in it.
No, they're not. They lost to goal. They lost to goal. You're all right.
So, yeah.
So at least that is
don't have to worry about
not a minor, not a major issue that's been dodged. But
was that the report that wasn't in the papers?
No, that was North Wales.
But no, it's obviously it's shocking news.
Apologies due to a printing error in the current 4020. There's an article from me. So
Two.
No, the next one.
In
the
current one. The next one.
Next one.
There's definitely one.
Next one's only one. At least England. Well, we're better at wheelchair rugby league. So far. So unfortunately, you know, we're coming for the world. We're gonna win the World Cup. But
mate, you beat Adam Hill, so that's great.
You're not taking back.
No, he loves it over here as much as he loves it over there. But yeah, and plus I love his show. You know, what's his show over here?
The Last Leg.
It's great. You know, I think, and yeah, that is such a good. And I love you know, the imitation Keir Starmers and everything else he has on it. It's just great. I think it's still got an Australian humour to it and English humour. So yeah.
Not so great was the Ashes series between the men in the autumn.
Yeah. Which one are you talking about? Cricket or...
No, we're not talking about
we haven't got the channel.
I told you downstairs. We don't know anything about cricket. Cricket
doesn't exist. Okay.
I mean, what did you make of it? Did you expect England to be more competitive? You mentioned that obviously Morgan Knowles is coming over now to play for the Dolphins. And Herbie Farnworth, you said best centre in the world.
I rate him as the best centre. I mean, no disrespect to you know, David Stagg and the I can't think of the young fellow that was not young but mature age bloke who kind of broke into like overnight A grade for Broncos, and then all of a sudden he's state of origin centre. And now he's Australian player, and you know, and who's going to walk away from the game? And that's just that's one of those things where sometimes you got to chance your luck But you know I forgot the question, Phil. I'm an ex-footballer. I'm sorry, I'm gone.
Were you
it's
surprised?
Cricket. You see, this is what happens when you talk about cricket.
Jet lag. Were you surprised how uncompetitive that we were in the Test arena? Bearing in mind that the core of our team do play in the NRL now.
But the thing about I couldn't see a plan. I didn't see, and I'm not a theory person. I'm thinking you got to have a plan or go to your best two players that might, I mean, look at Brisbane Broncos. Hey, we're in trouble. Chuck the ball to Reece Walsh. Britain didn't do that. It was like, it was sad to watch. Like I'm watching it at midnight or 2 o'clock in the morning, and I said, "Oh God, like, did I really stay up to watch that?" And the thing I hate about corporate rugby league today, I'm not sure. It's a business. I get that. I appreciate that. But they take games to non-rugby league venues, like playing at that soccer stadium.
It was great.
Was it really?
Oh, it's only because we got a donut.
No,
but you couldn't.
It was a fantastic stadium, and it said something about the prestige of the game.
I get that, but the line markings. They didn't know if they kicked a 40-20 or not. They're going, I think it is. And you're going, well, that's just not good enough for an international test match. It's not good enough to go, I think that line there is 5 yards back from where the... I was hoping they was going to bring out some, rulers to make sure they got
like the NFL.
I know.
Bring out the chains.
So that was just disappointing. I thought, that's and the ground was, it's like playing in Las Vegas. The dimensions of the grounds were not rugby league grounds. And
You played at Castleford.
Or Odsel.
oh, but at least they had line markings. You knew where the quarter line was, and but
You did. They just weren't 10 metres apart.
oh, yeah. So, but I just think play rugby league on a rugby league ground, look,
But Wembley isn't a rugby league ground.
I know, but they got enough space there to put the correct markings in, and and same at when I played at Headingley, not Headingley, what's that one where the Leeds Soccer United?
Leeds United, Ellen Road.
Ellen Road, same thing. At least they had enough dimensions and stuff to playing on that, and you go, yep, that's okay, yeah, it's great, so. That's the first time I ever played in snow, and the only time was at Ellen Road. So it was a highlight for me. So yeah.
Who were you playing?
Leeds United.
No, you weren't playing Leeds United. Who were you playing in the snow at Ellen Road?
Hunslet, sorry, the rugby league.
Of course, when
Hunslet, yeah.
So there weren't that many people there.
No, I think we got how they introduced the players to the crowd. I think the crowd got introduced to us. So
a day when you didn't need to block out the sound from the fans.
So yeah, but
Halifax have issued a statement.
Oh,
do you want me to read it?
if you want.
Following today's High Court hearing, Halifax Panthers has been placed in compulsory liquidation. We know this news will be very disappointing for our supporters, players, staff and sponsors. The winding up relates to a long-running dispute with HMRC, and despite efforts to find a solution, we were unable to conclude a deal in time to prevent this outcome. As part of this process, the directors are no longer in control of the company, and responsibility now passes to the official receiver, who will oversee the company's affairs and determine the next steps. Discussions now begin around the future of the club. Our focus is on working with all parties to secure the best possible outcome and a sustainable future for Halifax Panthers. This is not necessarily the end of the club, and we will provide further updates as soon as we can.
You can never beat the taxman. Who owns the share these days?
Ken Davey.
Right. He spent all that money on that pitch, and it's only going to get used by Halifax Town.
Just desperate, really, isn't it? Especially when you've just put a magazine to the printers giving previews of all the clubs in the championship. That's the least important.
Again, it just takes who's got the money. Who,
well, it's another of the
how
clubs.
much does it cost
It's
to run
another
a
of the clubs
championship
that
club?
don't have a benefactor. And again, I think that's part of the issue, that these days in sport you have to have corporate finance, whether that's a single owner, a group of individuals, or companies that buy a percentage of the shares. Unless you've got that in, even in the NRL, I would imagine it's similarly. When the Dolphins came in, you had to give huge financial guarantees to get the franchise. So what's your connection with the Dolphins, apart from obviously you're a fine ambassador for them?
Nothing much. Look, the Dolphins are great.
They're your local team?
Yeah. I live in Redcliffe, and they're well established, and look, they're one of the richest clubs in Australia, even though they were what people consider in England would say second division, Q Cup. Mate, they have got at their clubhouse, the main oval, they own a shopping centre right next door. On the other side, they own a health centre, where people come in to do, water aerobics and gym and all that. And they on their fields outside, they've got 10 junior fields where clubs play and juniors stay. So they're well established. Dolphins, Redcliffe, they always have always had money from the Queensland Cup. They've been well managed by people like that looked after them, like a bloke called Dick Tosser Turner. If you know your rugby, he was one of the main persons from the state of origin managers or the Queensland Glory years and things like that. And I mean, they still got it. And then you had him, Des Webb, who's president after Tosser, and McLennan, Donnie McLennan, and those three blokes really run it. And now we've got Bobby Jones, who's the present ex-player for the Dolphins and Eastern Suburbs Roosters, and really have kept that high level up. And they'll never, at the moment, their finance is so good. It's just one of the, I mean, both the three out of the four Queensland sides are very well off. I mean, Cowboys are up there in North Queensland are, one town place, and same as Brisbane Broncos. It's just sits well, and Gold Coast is our poor cousins, I suppose, because they live in a place where it's the people that has been out to Australia and had the privilege of going to the Gold Coast and seeing waves crashes and over here and things like that, and frightened not to get caught out in a rip, taken out the seat.
It's a tourist area, isn't it?
And that's it.
Scarborough. Is it Scarborough?
Not really.
No.
But Redcliffe got a lead in as well. They didn't just say you're in the NRL. They were told when they were coming in how much time they had to build
Not 6
a
months.
team.
Not 6 months before.
A bit of
3 months before.
A promotion about who they were signing, excitement about who their first fixture was going to be.
And the coach. The coach was the big issue. I mean, Wayne Bennett, his record speaks for himself, and people. I mean, Herbie Farnworth and Tom Flegler left Broncos to come there. I mean, a well-established club to go to. Dolphins was started, and mate, they enjoy it. Both of them enjoy it pretty well, and they had blokes like the Hammerside who didn't tour this year over to England, who's injured. But these guys have just come mainly because of Wayne Bennett, and then now who's taken over for Wayne Bennett is Christian Wolfe, who had great success over in England. So,
he did.
And the same same thing. They've got the same, and getting the Morgan, is it, from
Morgan
England?
Knowles, yeah.
So
Great player.
So they've really got a great foundation. The problem with Gold Coast, and I'm not trying to blame the novice coach. Gold Coast went with Cartwright. I can't think of his name. John Cartwright.
Who was at Hull.
He was not a recognised coach, from an Australia point of view, and they just failed pretty badly. And so, having someone like Wayne Bennett, I mean, I think the next on par is Wayne Bennett. You're left to say now is Craig Bellamy.
Mm-hmm.
You see people get turned into superstars when they go to Melbourne. Craig Bellamy has a philosophy that, hey, you do your job, this is what you do, and you mark up, you're going to miss out on a lot of things. So, and it's great, he tells Addo Carr, who got called back to the test side this year, when he came to Melbourne, Craig Bellamy sat him down, watched some of his highlights when he was playing for other clubs, and thought that Addo Carr was a mug leg showing off and thing after try. He said, we don't do that in Melbourne. Okay? You want to do that, you can do it somewhere else. Made an international rugby league star, Addo Fox. So I think that's great, and I think that's what they need. It does come from who's your management is, and then who's your coach is, and I think that's the big difference for a lot of successful sides. And
You know Wayne.
Yeah, he's a strange.
What's he like?
Oh, it's hard to say. Wayne's, I can remember playing one tour match once, and we was touring in New Zealand, and we played against a side called Bay of Plenty after beating New Zealand in Auckland, and on that game I was lucky enough to score 5 tries, which is a rarity, and kick a goal. It was my last. I scored the last try in this goal post. So they said, "Oh, you kick it," and I kicked it. After the game, Wayne doesn't praise you much. He said, "That's your job." Yeah. And that was that. I'm thinking, man, I scored 5 tries. How many times you scored 5 tries in a match? And he just said, "Well, that's what you that's your job." I said, "Okay."
So it kept you grounded.
It very much. There was no praise or nothing like that. But Wayne is a beautiful bloke. When you meet him and things like that, he's direct and he's always gave me courtesy and respect. He's always had time for me. Any time I've kind of reached out to him for any information. I was working in the education department for years, and one of the players from the 70s was a bloke called Chipsy Harrington, and he died, and his granddaughter reached out to me and said, "Hey, I'm trying to get a footage of my granddad playing." And he played in this grand final with Wayne Bennett. So I rang out with Wayne Bennett, Wayne Bennett, to credit, rang around until he found someone who had a tape of the 1974 Grand Final in Brisbane. And it was just, he didn't have to, but he made time to find this tape for this young girl. And he said, look, just ring up Wayne. He might take your call from Broncos, but put a message on and thank him for these efforts. So, Wayne Bennett is a very, as you well see, what you see outside the media is exactly what Wayne Bennett is. He's no different. It's not a show for the media. He does that. That's how he talks. And so, yeah.
His book, would you describe it as a self-help book, Phil? Or a motivational book? Don't Die With the Music in You. How would you describe that?
Yeah,
because it actually really worked for me.
Inspirational quote.
Yeah, it really worked for me. And I'm not the person who would buy into that kind of thing, but it really.
I don't think.
Go back to that one.
I mean, it would come under well-being,
well-being,
but I think it was more than that. It was just some things that when you read them, you think that's a bit obvious, but I hadn't thought of things that way, and it sort of guides you through life. Yes. I find him a fascinating guy, but
I did a terrible interview with him once, but that was all on me. That was my fault. I shouldn't have asked him how excited he was for the World Club Challenge, because he could just say, "Oh no, are you excited for the World Club Challenge?" You said yes. So that's my own fault. Are you excited for the World Club Challenge? I mean, Phil is because he's a Brisbane fan, but
I'm excited to see Brisbane play on British soil, but obviously I want the Super League team to win.
Yeah, how does it work if you're a Dolphin? Do you want Brisbane to win? Because Hull FC fans, they don't want Hull KR to win.
That's a funny thing. The funny story. I'll tell you a funny story about that. Last World Cup in Australia, I was there with Barry Johnson with all the British. We were waiting to go to Lane Park for the I think it was for the final. Yeah, and Great Britain only lost
the ankle tap.
Yeah. The Great Britain only lost, was it by a try?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the ankle tap on the centre, I can't think of it.
Callum Watkins.
Yeah, he was in the clear and that ankle tap say. I'm trying to think. Is it O'Neill?
Josh Dugan.
Was it Josh Dugan who tapped him?
It's only imprinted on us forever.
Oh, okay, sorry. And I was there, next minute, obviously a Hull supporter came over with his jersey because he had that. And he said, who you talking to Barry? He said, oh, it's Jamie Sandy. He said, can I get a picture with him? And I was a bit miffed. And I thought, why would you want a picture with me? I mean, Hull KR. No, we're laughing at George Fairbairn and Poe trying to catch you. We're cheering you on. And I thought, how strange. So...
Oh no, that's
and that was it. And I said, okay, if you want to take it. He said, I'm going to be a hero when I get back to England and show him the picture of you. So it's just was strange. It's one of those things, I suppose.
It's very much the next best thing to your team doing well is your rival team doing badly.
Yeah.
So I'm a Wakefield supporter.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean.
So he doesn't know anything about the word success.
So, we won the 1895 Cup, Phil.
Did you want Castleford to win the 1985 Challenge Cup?
Well, I wasn't. I didn't know Rugby League existed then. So I did want them to win in '92. Does that count? But I wasn't.
Well, no, they were playing Wigan. So.
Yeah,
so we all, but and maybe when they played Saints a few years ago.
Yeah.
But when they get relegated, it's quite funny. But
Yeah.
But they're back now. So the Queensland Cup.
Yeah.
Because I say often that we spend too much money on bringing over players from the Queensland Cup. But how good is that competition compared to what you see from ours? Because it's all right for me saying, big mouth here on the podcast saying nonsense, but I don't watch the Queensland Cup. I don't know how good it is.
Look, it is high. I mean, some of those blokes are like, a success story from the Queensland Cup that's current now is Trey Fuller for the Dolphins. He is just, he's my idol. And it's good. I get my wife to have a look, and she wasn't a rugby league supporter. And I said, have a look at this guy. And she said, geez, he runs like you. Geez, he's very similar. And he is. He's only a small lad. And I hope I can convince him to come over and spend a season in England, because I think he would benefit from it. And I think the crowd would love seeing. You pay money to go see someone that's irrelevant of it. It's one thing I enjoyed when I came to England. was the lot of the supporters from the other side who watched you play, and I think once I played at Salford, and the bloke came to me, he said, and he was the doorman for Salford, he said, I used to come up and just get a little glimpse of the game when I can. And he greeted me at the door and he said, I hope to have the day off when Salford travelled to have the pleasure of watching you play football again. And I thought, wow, you just don't get that in Australia. And my first game in against Oldham, same thing. I walked up back to the dressing shed, you know, the old dog shed, and you walked all the way.
Oh, sorry about that.
Walked all the way back up, and this gentleman was his son was there, and said hello, yeah, and he said, my son and I enjoy watching you play together today. We're happy Oldham won, but we can't wait to come watch you play again in Castleford. And you just go, you didn't get that in Australia. You know, if you play for another club, you're the most hated person in the world. So it was just, it was something. I think that was great for sports. I mean, to see, even though like Phil and I have met since Tony Curry used to be back when I was playing here. And, Phil's always wished me well, as long as I don't beat Leeds.
Yeah, exactly.
And to his... I think he cursed me.
It's only what Tony would have wanted.
I think he cursed me because I've never beaten Leeds. And I'm glad, although Tony always disputes us, that he scored that try in the semi-final against Hull KR, that we wouldn't have won the Challenge Cup.
Yeah.
So I said, no, mate, they didn't give it, Tony. Sorry, mate. So, yeah.
Was it nearly draw time? Oh no, it's still 10 minutes till the draw. Even though we're not going, I don't even know how we're going to follow.
Well, that's why the phone is on to get the draw. But
no, I should be nicer about the Queensland Cup. I should watch them. I should subscribe to Watch NRL and pick a team. And
yeah, Dolphins.
Dolphins.
They got Dolphins there. They're pretty good. Yeah, it is. Look.
PNG Hunters.
Oh yeah,
PNG's Hunters. Yeah. And the thing you get from the Q Cup, I mean, there's not much difference. It's more the professionalism when you played, and that's why State of Origin worked so well for us, because every year we have blokes that are playing, and then they get brought by New South Wales clubs. No, we didn't have pokies, and they come back for New South Wales, flog us again, and play for Australia. I mean, I can remember one year John Lane, left Sydney, left Brisbane to go down there, play for the Roosters for one season. Played for New South Wales in Australia, made the New Zealand tour. Come back and then they introduced the State of Origin after the third dead rubber, and he played for Queensland. And how many players can play for one state, then another, play in the grand final which they lost, and play for Australia? And I thought, wow, that was. And like Wally Lewis was playing, and Mal Meninga, and all these blokes like Gene Miles, all from Brisbane Rugby League or Q Cup. I mean, you're thinking, Munster's from Q Cup. Walker's from the Rabbitohs is from Q Cup. And
he's Leeds. He's from Leeds.
Who's that?
Walker.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's Leeds. He's like Erling Haaland. He's Leeds, really.
Okay.
Ben Walker.
No,
Walker.
Oh,
sorry,
Cody
Sorry,
Walker. Cody Walker.
Sorry, he's not Leeds.
So you're just thinking,
Walkers.
yeah. Well, Ben Walker, he's an ex. He played for the Jets. So, these guys. It's not much that. I think it's more the professionalism. I mean, Queensland, your Q Cup, you still got to have a job and things, and they seem to just step. I mean, we haven't grown an extra leg or something like that because we're in.
Well, it looks like it sometimes.
I know. The old saying was, when you played for Queensland, you turn fit, fall tall, and you're bulletproof, and you do when you put on your own jersey on. It's just like, I think Ray Price.
Like Yorkshire when Peter Fox was.
Well, I was going to mention the pronunciation of the word maroon. I don't understand it, but it's not in the review, is it? Yorkshire, Lancashire coming back, isn't it? No.
The other thing about the Q Cup that's interesting is it's very different now to how it used to be.
Yeah.
It used to be the suburbs of Brisbane were the core of the competition.
Yeah.
And now it's Central Queensland and North Queensland and Cairns, and the game has again had to reshape itself to the modern demands, a bit like Sydney has done as well. That the ARL was heavily concentrated on the Sydney clubs, and a couple of them merged. But it's now we've got to get Brisbane in, we've got to get Canberra in, we've got to get North Queensland in, and there's almost that when we talk about strategy here, we don't really have that. We put the odd pin in a map and said, oh, let's see if you can survive in Wales without giving you any resource or leading or whatever. Whereas Brisbane West, which was your club, they're not as influential as they were.
No.
But the Queensland Cup is going from strength to strength.
Oh, it is a good level of footy, and
I remember a grand final breakfast at the Panthers.
Yeah. But,
who knew you could drink at 7 o'clock in the morning?
But it's just a great atmosphere playing in Queensland Cup and things like that, and like I said, it's a lot of the girls in the NRL as well. They play for a local club, and then all of a sudden they get picked for Broncos women's team, and mate, they're playing against girls from all over, So
one of them's even from Leeds, playing for North Queensland.
Oh, is she good? Yeah. Oh no, so it is good. It's something. I hope they really and try to get the level up for everyone to play, because it is a great game. Look, it had a catchphrase there, bloke called George Lovejoy, who said it's the greatest game of all, and it is. It's.
Did you ever fancy playing in the Sydney competition? The ARL that was.
Well, Broncos. There was 4 clubs that actually did kind of put a feel out for me. Broncos was the most heaviest. Penrith was another one, and same with Canterbury. You spoke to Canterbury and St George was another one. And at the time, it was 87 after winning the Challenge Cup, and I just lost interest. I really did, and I just retired. I just people don't realise I retired when I was 24, and that's a thing that I decided, and I had no regrets. I never went back and tried to play something or do something else, and it's from what I think I achieved from my rugby league career. I'm happy with that. Hey, I could have done more, but I'm not going to dwell on it. I think what I got done, people appreciate it, and I like it. I think in my own mind, I'm happy with it, and so.
And that Curry bloke did all right.
TC done fantastic. TC was
Tony grand Curry. Finals with 2 different
clubs. Yeah, he was. He's quite good, Tony. He's always from an educator point of view. I used to bring school kids over who dreamed of becoming a rugby league player, and there's nothing wrong with it. You're allowed to have dreams, but we used to say, well, with me being an education, I said, mate, to the parents and to their sons at the time, they got to learn to read and write first. If they don't learn to read and write and do their basic maths, they're not good. And the parents would just go, they're going to be millionaires because they're going to have this and do this. And you go, no, they need to learn to read and write and manage their own money as well. Mm-hmm. The managers, no, manager will do that. I said, look, their manager's going to be a millionaire. Your son's not. And they just could not get it. And so I took him to Tony Curry's workshop, and she had all these rugby league memorabilia on the wall of his workshop, and he showed them. It's not that hard. It's really... And the thing is, you still got... for rugby league, you might last 10 years in it. If you're really good, you might last 15, if you're that good. But 10 years... And then you're in your mid-30s, and you still got to work for another 35 years. And like Tony said, I had to go back to college, got my diploma degree in business management, and that's why I'm here. And that's the thing about it. It was, and I know from a educational point of view, from an Aboriginal point of view in education, any of those Aboriginal carnivals or anything like that, the Indigenous kids had to make a 95%, or else they weren't allowed to play. And I think that's good. It's really focusing on how education is going to help you, and rugby league is great, but you still need to have an education, and that's what I've been pushing for the last 40 years in education. So yeah, and it's not just anyone. It's one of those best things you can do, I think. And I'm not bagging rugby league, but mate, it took me around the world from a kid that grew up in what we call a housing commission, from a family of 11, and the only kid in my family that got to travel overseas and things. And so yeah, it has done me well, but I think life in general has done me well. So yeah.
There's more to life than rugby league.
Oh yeah.
I think maybe we need to put that under the greatest game, so in brackets, so people remember.
It's just the greatest game, but there is more to life.
Yeah, there is other stuff going on. Shall I quickly go through the results before the draw comes out?
Yes, the draw's due any time.
Unless you want to say anything about Widnes versus Leeds, Phil, because you were there.
I think there's a wider debate to be had about this round of the Cup.
It's been great, Phil. Lots of people watch games and they've been patronised by Super League clubs.
And this was one of the games that was genuinely competitive, and partly down to the fact that Leeds didn't put their entire full first team out, which is not to detract in any way from Widnes. But when you look at, Widnes Wigan played a full team at Rochdale, Saints played a full team at Workington. Those were the results where it wasn't hard to predict that there was going to be a huge margin. I think the Leeds Widnes game was a good old fashioned cup tie, and I thought Widnes were really good. Had a couple of players who, Jordan Abdul is an enigma, because there's things that he can do that other players would love to be able to. When Widnes got into trouble, his boot gave them the ability to get right down the other end of the field, and if you're always coming off your own line, you're not going to be as effective. His ability to put a man into space is a real gift, and he caused no end of problems, but he's not a traditional athlete, and I don't know how good he could be or would be. I don't know, can he do it on a wet Tuesday night in Stoke? I've no idea. But he created a load of problems for Leeds. I think Mike Butt, the winger who got 2 tries, looks really good at that level. There were a couple of really top performances from Widnes, but you got the feeling that Leeds always quite had them at arm's length. And although it got to 18-12, you never thought there's going to be an upset here. It was funny that Leeds went for a penalty to make it 8-6, and obviously Brodie Croft dropped a goal right at the very end. The crowd booed, but the crowd should have been taking that as a real compliment.
A sign of respect
for your opposition.
But well done to Wigan, because they've done the scorigami. No one's ever won 83-0. It's never happened before in the history of rugby league.
Which again is down to Bevan French kicking a drop goal
when they didn't really
at the 39th minute, when they were already 38-0 ahead. But that's professionalism, isn't it? There'll be some point in a game where they set up and they'll need a drop goal, and again, it's showing respect to the opposition, I think, rather than taking the mickey out of the opposition. But I think there is a bigger debate to be had about at what point there's a novelty value for Wigan fans to go to Rochdale, there's a novelty value for Saints fans to go to Workington, and I get all of that. But if they draw each other again in the Cup next year, what will the crowd be? So yes, there's a cash injection in the short term. There's a real worry about duty of care for players. The difference between full-time and part-time is absolutely enormous, and that's the concern that hasn't been really properly debated, I don't think.
I think all those clubs who've been given signed shirts by Super League clubs this week with a value of at least £40, so it's good. Well, maybe when they bring in the group stage and everyone gets to play a championship side or whatever, or we might bring back League One next year, who knows. Here's the results, which you already know, so I don't know what I'm telling you. Barrow 6. I can't read. This is why James Child was in last week. Where's he this week, by the way?
He'll get in touch with us.
Oh, right.
What he doesn't know, though,
if you've got these chocolates,
is today's biscuits are sweet and salty chocolate pretzel clusters. If he'd known that,
he'd been in.
So you've been on professional. You've been on professional podcasts that give you T-shirts and stuff. This is not professional. Barrow 6, York 32. But the good news is that Paul McShay's not going to be banned for their season opener with.
But there's something like 6 cards in that.
Something like that, yeah.
2 cents off.
Batley 4, Catalan's 56. Catalan's going after 9 seconds.
Right, which people were saying is the fastest try ever.
Wasn't the one that was 4 seconds or something?
In the Challenge Cup. Do we know how quickly tries were scored in 1911?
Well, no. But Doncaster 0, Castleford 14.
Which sounded again like a very competitive game.
Oh, you know all this stuff about the ruck speed and how different referees are going to referee differently. But that's because if we all counted to 10 under our in silence, and I don't know how long they're supposed to hold them down for or not hold them down, we'd all come up with different 10s. Even though we can all count. Even I.
I think huge credit to Doncaster, who'd been beaten by Midlands Hurricanes the week before, to come back and put up a 6-0 at half time, I think.
Yeah.
Wasn't till late on that Cass won. You were speaking to them today and they were saying it doesn't matter how you win in the Challenge Cup, it's just winning in the Challenge Cup.
Yeah, it's like I said.
It's all about winning. Halifax 14, goal 18, which obviously is in a different mood today, but still, having come back from 14-12, Gould are a decent side.
It's interesting looking at Gould's roster this year. I mean, clearly they got in some very experienced players last year to get them up and running, a lot of whom have moved on.
The draw started.
Has
According
it?
to Ian Boldsworth, he might be lying.
Well,
Huddersfield Hull KR, Cass Saints, Tom Maguire Derby.
oh well, at least it can't be Leeds Saints.
Yeah, so that's good. Well, you might get you'll get Gold because it's fixed, isn't it? So I better not say that.
No, normally it's Saints.
Oh, yeah, I'll get in trouble now if I say that. Yeah, no, you must be right because
Definitely Huddersfield Hull KR, because Huddersfield have said ticket details will be announced soon.
Hunslet 6, Huddersfield 52, 990 there. Imagine if they'd not played at the same time as Leeds United.
But again, while we picked a couple of attendances that were fantastic and hopefully put a lot of money into the coffers at Workington and Rochdale, there were also some attendances that you think, is that economically viable?
York Keighley. Ian can't spell Keighley.
And he hasn't put Keighley.
Wakefield Leeds, boo!
That's the big one.
We're going to knock you out, Phil. We're off to Wembley this year. John Keir said so.
When was the last time you were at Wembley?
2 years ago in the 1895 Cup.
In the Challenge Cup?
79. Before I was born.
Worst final ever.
Yeah. No, 68 was worse.
No, 68 was great. 68 went down in folklore.
Wakefield Leeds might be on telly then.
Oh, it will be on telly.
Because now we've got our brand new luxury grandstand.
At your
it's at the home of Rugby League.
What,
the DIY Kitchen Stadium.
Oh, right.
Catalan's Oldham, that won't be on telly. Well done to Batley though for getting that game on Sunday.
There were about four games on yesterday. If you could find the streams.
Yeah, although I turned off the Swinton Wakefield game because it was just boring and the camera angle was awful. This is the draw live. I loved all the clubs today saying, don't forget you can listen on 95.1 FM. You can't get Radio Manchester in Castleford. I don't know if you know that, but and they've got a big thing. Lee Hull. So they hate each other, don't they?
Cardiac derby.
Well, they don't like each other, do they? Because Lee accused Hull of taking all their players. Mm-hmm. So that's good. Is that it? Who's left?
Wigan.
Wigan and Warrington. They've not been drawn out yet. No. Who's got goal?
Wigan goal.
Is it Wigan goal?
No, it's bound to be.
Well, I'm going to tell you because
speculating.
My dots are coming. Oh, he stopped typing. No, he started typing again.
Is it like the teleprinter?
Gull Warrington at Gull, the Victoria Beckham Pleasure Grounds. Ian's
biggest crowd ever.
He's listening to Mother Mike switches to Warrington again. So who's left? Wigan versus Bradford?
Could be.
So we've got Saints Cass, Huddersfield Hull KR. This is the draw. York Keighley, Wakefield Leeds, Catalans Oldham, Lee Hull, Gull Warrington. So yeah, Wigan Bradford. Oh, the Brian Noble derby.
Mm.
Is that it? Yeah, that must be it. I'm not reading that out, Ian. Thank you very much for your time. That was the draw. Games played on the 14th and 15th of March, apparently.
It is.
I might be working. I might be playing.
What, for Wakefield against Leeds?
Well, I think we've got a friendly that day, so that, to let you in on the secret, Jamie, I play for the plays are very
loose.
You've got a squad.
I'm in the squad of the Wakefield Trinity wheelchair team. Now, whether I actually ever play or not, I don't know. But
so have you got your wheelchair ready?
Well, they've just raised £28,000, so we can afford
Just
some
for
new
you?
wheelchairs now. Yeah,
That's right.
that's my signing on fee.
That's right.
So, yeah. Key to the 18, Midlands 14. That was late on, wasn't it?
Last minute try, 79th minute try.
Lock Lane 0, Hull 104.
Record score.
Yeah. Apparently got mentioned on the football yesterday. But I wasn't watching, so. London 8, Bradford Bulls 26.
I watched that.
Good game.
Until London couldn't find any players to play in the second half. It was a very good game, actually. Because they looked like evenly matched sides. So I don't know what that says about London at the top of the Championship.
Yeah, or Bradford, yeah.
And But Bradford will point to the fact that they had a couple of players who didn't make the starting lineup because of injuries. And unfortunately for London, they ended up playing with 12 men for the last 20 minutes. And the two that they lost that were really crucial with the game on an absolute knife edge was Dean Hawkins, who clearly is ex-Parramatta, great player, and a certain Reagan Campbell-Gillard, who Jamie may have heard of.
Yeah.
Ex-Test player.
Yeah, Campbell-Gillard.
Playing in London.
Yeah, it just reminds me of the era of one of those 70s porn star with his mate.
I don't know what you're talking about.
He's not the only one.
Not that I looked at any
not
porn
the
stars,
only one.
but he just looks like...
It's a superb moustache.
It is great, yeah. Handlebar, is it a handlebar moustache?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's the term. Disregard the other comment I said about him, what he looks like.
We won't tell him when we see him. Wendell Blake scored as well for Bradford, so that's a marker down for the Super League season. North Wales 6, Lee Leopard 16. That kicked off at some ridiculous time on Saturday.
Saturday at 6, was it,
something
8
like that.
o'clock or something, 6.
Mind you, Wakefield playing at 8 o'clock on Saturday. I didn't realise it was that late. Oldham 46, Dewsbury 0. Not good for Dewsbury. Rochdale 0, Wigan 83, we've mentioned that. Zach Eckersley, 4 tries. Well done to him.
You can see why he's been given the number 2 shirt this year.
Salford 0, Hull 60.
Which again, not a surprise.
No.
Hull playing a lot of first teamers and.
So they're handing out some flyers to the Hull fans saying thanks for coming. Save your money, don't print flyers. Sheffield Eagles 6, Warrington 34 at the Halliwell Jones Stadium.
Which again sounded very competitive until the latter stages.
And they got nearly 3,000 there, 2,908, which is more you can get in it.
It's double what you could have got at the Olympic Legacy Park.
Swinton 6, 2026 Wakefield Trinity Challenge Cup winners 82.
What was the crowd at Swinton?
918.
Which again, for all of this is what the round's about economically. Look at the joy on the faces.
Cherry-picking figures, Phil. I mean, the narrative is...
The joy on the faces of the Warrington players as Jackson Hastings gave them the Man of the Match medal. Yeah, but...
I hope that wasn't the one that they just give them as a dummy and then they they've got another one spare. I mean, I'm sure it's worth at least... How much do you reckon the medal's worth on those Player of the Match medals? St Helens won 98-2 at Working, so the disappointment there is they didn't score 100. And Matty Lees is injured as well. So there's a funny thing in the strategic review about...
I didn't see many jokes.
No, about narratives.
Oh, yes.
So the narrative of the season is built around who's going to win the Steve Prescott MBE Man of Steel Award. So you've got to get it right because people will correct you if you don't. And that was helped by having a league table every week where someone would get 3 points or whatever. But we're not doing that anymore. So
it's going to be all in secret.
Yeah.
In fact, the 5 men that were picking it was in secret as of this afternoon.
Well, they're icons apparently.
Well, they are.
Ellery Hanley, the Pearl, Joe Lydon, drop goal man, Paul Sculthorpe, Scully, James Roby, Sam Tompkins, whose brother coaches one of the teams in the club in the competition. And Ellery Hanley's some places in the competition as well. But in recent years, respected former players from a long list of 25 would award points to the game's best 3 players. 3 to them player of the match, 2 to the runner-up and 1 to the third place performer, just in case we were too thick to understand.
Yeah.
Points will be tallied up over the season with a weekly leaderboard published before the system went dark at round 15. But under a new, fresh format brand new for 2026, the new look panel will meet on 3 separate occasions throughout the season to evaluate the competition's leading performers after round 9, 18 and 27. I assume they're going to do it on Zoom. Following each meeting, a short list of leading performers from that block of games will be publicly announced. So, there you go. Was there anything wrong
None
with
of whom will be picked for the England team playing in the World now.
Was there anything wrong with the old one? Or was it because Michael Lewis didn't win it?
Sounds a bit cosmetic.
I'm sure you can
But
tell
I don't think there's any doubt that the 5 men, good and true, are.
But they're all Wigan. They're all Wigan and Saints. Phil. They're all Wigan and Saints and Warrington. They're not like Leeds and Cass and Wakefield.
Ellery had a couple of seasons at least.
Hull. Yeah, he did. Yeah.
We haven't bothered about individual. I know this is a stupid question because I know what the answer is going to be. Would you ever bothered about individual awards, things like that?
Oh, I'd like to win them. I know nothing. Yeah, things like you said. Yeah, when you unmanned a match back in the old Brisbane competition or slash Q Cup as you call it today, was that they'd give you an interview. You got the interview on the TV and they give you the envelope with the sponsors on. You go, oh yeah. And then they go afterwards, after the camera's shut off, and they go, oh, there's no check in there. We'll get that to you later. And you're going, okay, so why am I holding it out? But that's just, I mean, that was it. So, yeah, it's like, yeah, it was like you got something, but you really haven't.
You got
feel like, I felt like
telly.
now when I look at it, it's like I'm Donald Trump. Like, I got the, what you call the Nobel Peace Prize,
the FIFA Peace Prize,
and the FIFA Peace Prize, but it really is nothing. You don't get it. So yeah, that's what it was like. I thought, oh well, I'm in the same legacy as Donald Trump. So yeah.
You didn't get a telly from Panasonic or?
No, you didn't know. That was no, but I knew. Talking about prizes, I mean. I think Malcolm, I had the pleasure of catching up with Malcolm really today. And I can remember when he came to Australia and he played, there was a comp we used to call the, was it the old Amco Cup or in midweek comp.
Yeah.
And he won actually the Volvo Try of the Year. So, I mean, Volvo's not bad. It's not a bad, unless it was a Matchbox Volvo toy, but... You know, winning a Volvo. It sounds prestige, doesn't it? You know, so yeah, yeah, I'd love to win. You know, things like that. It's something, but like most players that are very that wins a lot. I mean, I'd hate to go to Wally Lewis's place back in Australia. And imagine all the awards he's got. Oh, where do you put them? After a while, where do you put them? And you just think, and that's why I look at what I got and I say, I'm very privileged of it. And I'm thinking, geez, I'm glad I haven't got half the stuff that Tony Curry's got. Because, you know, where you got to store, and it's sad because people come over, when they come over to my house, oh, where's all your jerseys and stuff like that and what I have got and prior. I said, do you really want to know? They go, yeah. In my room, there's a garbage bag in my cupboard. It's all there. What? Why haven't you got to hang up? You can look in the garbage bag if you want.
It's the same as John Holmes, one of the greatest players to ever play the game. He had all his medals and shirts in carrier bags under his bed.
Yeah, it's you know you want it. I mean, it's like, who was it? Ian Chappell. I remember him, the great Aussie Australian cricket captain. I won't go to the sport he played, but you know, they said, have you still got your baggy green and things like that? And he said, no. Why not? He said, I know I played for Australia. I don't need a baggy green cap to remind me. So, yeah. So it was good, you know. I think that was it. As long as you know in yourself, you don't need someone to, you know, things like memory to look at it. It always, I used to have funny jokes about people, you know, women's, not a sexist. They don't ring in and fill in. But they have tattoos or about the date of birth of their kids. And from what I experienced and known about the birthing, and from a lot of women who tell me it's one of the most painful things, you can't remember that. You could have it on your, you know, it defeats the purpose. So, But anyway, that's just me.
My existence just means my mum doesn't need to have that.
Yeah.
She remembers, unfortunately. She says,
right,
yeah, it's coming round again. There was something else I was going to say now, and I can't remember what it was. But it can't have been that important because...
Wally Lewis, the best player you've ever seen?
He's in the Wakefield Hall of Fame. He played 10 games.
I know. Well, they're £1,000, mate. That's not bad.
I think it was nearer 1,500.
That's what Phil says.
Leeds offered him 1,000 and he turned that down.
Hey, so it was more, was it? Oh. Well, it's funny because I remember he got comment. They said he did one bloke punched him in a game.
Yeah.
And kind of made a comment, says, "How does that feel? You know, £1,000, man. You know." And he said, £900 better than you. So yeah. But like someone said about that, you know, like, would I ever change the Allegiance Rugby Union? And I thought, mate, if someone's going to pay me 3 times more, hey, yeah, why not?
I mean, can you imagine that, Phil, ever being offered loads of money to do the same job and turn it down?
Well, an easier job.
Yeah.
It is, yeah. You don't have to tackle in rugby union. So, touch
What
your
if-
tackle. No,
Oh.
Sorry. Don't say that.
So
Sorry,
how-
rugby.
how-
I'm not anti-rugby union, sorry.
Oh, no, we are. That's what we are.
How good was Wally?
He was...
When he came over, we thought, yeah, he's changed the game.
Yeah.
Darren Lockyer, obviously, an equivalent in the modern era, but you will have played when Wally was playing?
Yeah, I played with Wally. Mal. Wally was just... I always felt sorry for Mal. I think he lived in Wally's shadow. And Wally was just so brilliant. You just... he didn't play 80 minutes. That's the trick for Wally. He might have to play 10, but you knew those 10 minutes would just kill the game, change the game.
Yeah.
And
He used to do that for a team called Australia. When they
yeah,
played.
Australia and things like that. And you go, wow, lucky we had him. But it wasn't just Wally. I mean, at the time, we had blokes like Brett Kenny and Peter Sterling. And you think, how's the rest of the world supposed to beat these guys?
Eric Growth.
And
Gene
so
Miles.
it was just a plethora of
And they're just
players.
the backs, the forwards.
Yeah, and like, who needs forwards? But Wally was big. Don't forget, he was as big as a forward, so he wasn't no small person, Wally. So for the time, and he could handle himself with almost from the when it got nasty and things like that.
So he played for Wynnum
Yeah, Wally did. Yeah, Wynnum.
in Brisbane.
Yep, yeah, he did.
And you would have been playing against him at West.
Oh yeah, West and East when I went there, and then Redcliffe. But yeah, he was just
Mal was at South.
South.
With
Mal
Wayne Bennett.
Wayne Bennett, South. Wayne Bennett, and then Gene at Wynnum, and then Greg Dowling at Wynnum. So, like you said, it was a strong comp. I mean, you're playing against blokes that were, I mean, from your point of view, at East, who I was playing with, we had Trevor Patterson and Gavin Jones.
Fantastic.
They came over to Leeds, and
They did.
And then at
Trevor was the player of the year.
Yeah, and then at Redcliffe was Spider Terry Webb. Mm-hmm. He played over here for many years.
Wasn't he the mayor of Redcliffe?
Oh no. So it was just a great when we came over here playing against the Sydney lads, like we played against blokes like Steve Eller, and what I liked about English Rugby League back then was you're playing the world, because you used to play against blokes from South Africa, the Moroccan countries, and a lot of the Islamic boys. It was just you just played, and a lot of Maori lads and Fiji, and it was just a great league to play against. Even South Africans played. Wigan had a couple of South African players, and so it was just a great, like I said, great time in league, and I think it was just a world comp you're playing in England against all the, and then you have all the Australians on top of it, like Steve Eller, Greg Dowling, you had
Steve
Phil
Roach.
Blake. Phil Blake was just entertainment. Steve Roach. So you had blokes that were quality players. I mean, Noel Cleal and
Boyd.
Les Boyd, yeah, playing at Les.
You didn't want to get caught by him.
No. Well, I feared his prop partner more than anything. Kevin Tamity. Mate.
Yes.
So and then Kevin Tamity, you couldn't meet a nicer and quite a bloke. After the game, I said, bloody hell, that's Kevin Tamity there. I just playing against him, and I went over to the hi, James Sandy. He said, "Okay, Kevin Tammany, pleased to meet you. And you go,
you were just taking my head off.
And this is Kevin Tammany, who had a big fight with Greg Delling at Lane Park on the sideline, and you're thinking, well, he couldn't have had a nicer bloke.
Mark Broadhurst.
Yeah, another bloke. But the other thing was, when I played Warrington that night, it was my most fond memory was Andy Gregory.
Right.
So I've come off after the game, and we had a drink, and he saw me, and he came up and put his arm around me. He said, "Hey lad, someone told me you came from from an island, but no one told me you came from Fantasy Island." And I said, "Mate, you're not much bigger than me. You might be, more built." And I thought, "Oh yeah," but he had a great sense of humour, and I thought, he's not a bad bloke, Andy Gregory. And so at least I don't know what the hell like today, but you had characters like Andy Gregory was a funny bloke, and people like that would carry. I mean, so today they're so. I think they're frightened to say anything to upset people. They're so like we had coaches who like Ross Stroderick. He came over here.
He did,
and he coached. Who else? Was it Halifax before then? He coached someone.
Yes.
And you had him. People like him would just say anything in the paper and blah blah blah, and he'd go back to his plays and say, "Don't listen to the I said." And that's just me. You just worry about winning, and and if it was he's playing a side that he knew his side could win easily, he'd say something like, "Oh, we'll probably win by 40 points against the side," and it made the opposition go, "No, I will show him 40 points," and to his benefit, gave his boys a hard game. They didn't want a soft game, so. And that was the psychology of Ross Stroderick. So you think, okay.
Psychology. I'm assuming, Phil, you borrowed those Brisbane tapes that came from the Brisbane competition that came over here. I think Micron didn't they? You've been watching all this.
You used to queue up every Monday at Barker's video shop.
Oh yeah.
Week after the games had been played, just to see the game of the week and the highlights of all.
Oh yeah, game of the week, match of the day.
But I can remember being in Brisbane in '87, which was a year before the Broncos came in.
Yeah.
And they just announced who they were playing in the first game a year hence. They hadn't signed a single player. I don't think they'd announced Wayne as coach. All they knew was we need to get a ticket for that game, and you just thought, wow, that's how to promote. I think it was Manly, wasn't it?
Manly, who won the grand final.
Who everybody disliked.
You did. You had
the Silvertails. You
had two teams. When you were in Brisbane, you had two teams in Sydney. Or everyone had two teams. One was, what's it called, team, and your favourite team, and a team that beat Manly. So, so it was a bit like that, but for Manly.
You don't like Manly, Phil, do you?
I have every reason not to like that.
He's in next week.
Is he?
Yeah.
Wait until he sees George Clark's predictions of who's going to finish where in the NRL.
Is your dinner ready, Phil?
Yeah. I've just got the cup draw here for.
Go on, read it out again, then, especially for the people listening later who've already seen it.
Well, and it came through sort of a game at the time. I think if you read it as an entirety, then you get a feel for the competition. Huddersfield, Hull Cow.
Right.
So you got to tell me who's going to win each game.
Well, I'm not allowed because I'll get banned by the RFL. Okay. Hull Cow.
Castleford, St Helens.
Saints.
Wakefield, Leeds.
Draw.
Replay at Headingley. York, Keighley.
York.
Catalan, Oldham.
Catalan.
Lee, Hull.
Lee.
Goole, Warrington.
Warrington.
And Wigan, Bradford.
Wigan. I don't think that's. Got to put Wakefield Leeds on this. No, I'll put Wigan Bradford.
Wakefield Leeds will be the Saturday 3:00 game on BBC One.
Yeah, hope so. I know there's
Ian Brook leading the team out.
Yeah. No, we don't want to talk about 68 though, because they'll show that on the build-up again. Oh. See, at least Castleford fans and your memories of Wembley. I know they haven't been happier for Castleford fans since, but that's a great memory to have. For Wakefield fans, even ones who were born 12 years after it happened, all we get shown is water splash and missing a kick in front of the goal.
Okay. Oh, that one, yeah.
Yeah, that one.
That's a great try, wasn't it?
Yeah, who had to kick it off. Oh, yeah.
Oh, that was a super try. I mean, you know, obviously he was playing soccer most of it for the try, but
Right, it's a sensational last-minute try. That's what anyway says. Yeah.
I got it handed. Someone showed me a video. It was on the 101 great tries and one goal. So it was lovely to make that. And that was the first point with the goal of him scoring. And saying, "Wow, this is great." And I was thinking, this can't be the missed goal, is it? I was one missed goal, and it was. So no, it's just sad. I mean, yeah.
It's not that sad.
No, who was he playing?
He's playing for Wakefield against Leeds.
Oh, so it's
Don't
not that
fall.
sad.
This is why. Oh, yes.
What year was that again?
68.
Oh, is that why we don't mention? It's a bit like Fight Club A. Never mentioned the.
Yeah,
that's why you're in the middle.
Apart from I mention it all the time, that's the problem. It's like it's a deep psychological issue that I can't not. Over. It's like happened. It's like,
is that is that player that missed a goal still alive?
No,
he's not.
He's passed on. Okay, it's okay.
No. And he never really recovered from it.
Okay.
And he had a great career at Don Fox, of course, for those who don't know. He had a great career at Featherstone before and Great Britain.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
He's not in the Hall. Is he in the Hall of Fame?
No.
He's in the Featherstone Hall of Fame. He's in the Wakefield Hall of Fame. But all he's remembered for is that one moment, and
he was man of the match that day as well.
Was he?
Yeah, because it's
bittersweet, isn't it?
It's the great interview afterwards where David Coleman, who's the host of Grandstand at the time, comes on and says, "So Don, you've just missed the goal, but you've been
the good news
is you've been awarded the Lance Todd Trophy as a man of the match. Is that any consolation?" He goes, "No, not really, David."
No, it's not.
It's like it's on.
It's sweet and sour. You know, like it's kind of like rubbing it in, isn't it? Funny.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, okay, hey.
Although the broadcaster couldn't really do a lot else to
well, but now they don't interview the.
I did say, you know, it's a bit like John Doherty. I mean, imagine if they would have gave him like man of the match, Lance Todd.
Yep.
Right, and here you go, John. Great. Too bad you missed that last goal. It's like a double
which
whammy.
Which basically cost you the game.
No, I know. You're just thinking, okay, do you have to say that again? And it reminds you of that movie, eh? What's it called? It's Jim Carrey. Laces Out. You know that. I don't know, that animal movie is they steal the Miami Dolphins, and the kicker missed the goal kick.
Oh, Ace Ventura.
Ace Ventura. You know, he missed the kick because he believed the person that held the ball didn't hold the laces out, and that's why he missed it, and that he got. You know, and that's what it reminds you of, eh? You know, poor fella.
Any questions for our guest from our...
No, everyone's talking about the draw.
Oh,
good.
He's a poor lad, says Andy. He is. But, you know, maybe they'll knight his brother at one point. So, because he did all right, didn't Neil? Like Wire last season, Sneed man of the match, but we lost to a dubious decision. Well, Andy, you know, if it hadn't have happened then, what would have happened if that try hadn't been given and Warrington had won the cup and Sam Burgess might be the England coach now. So
okay.
As my grandfather used to say, if my auntie had balls, she'd be my uncle.
Yeah.
Don't say that on the telly anymore.
You don't hear that a lot anymore.
It's a song. It's there's what's his name? Roger Miller. You know, I used to love my uncle till she died. So it's an old country song from.
Exactly. Yes. It's culturally appropriate.
Yeah, I know. That's right. He also sang England Swing. So yeah, there you go.
Well, England certainly swang. Well, Castleford certainly swang on that night after you scored that try.
Oh, mate.
Swang the word, I don't know.
It is now.
I wish I would have drank. I wish I was a drinker, but and had a drink.
Because you'd never have to buy another one in Castleford.
No.
People will give you free coffees now. That's not.
3 tea and I did taste the coffee here in Great Britain, but hey, you can't have everything.
Well, if anyone in Castleford is and sees you over the next few days, bring you Yorkshire tea, and then you can take it back with you. Then you don't have to.
I probably will. Yeah. I know. It should be happy, but.
Well, thank you for joining us. Thank you for spending part of your vacation with us. Was it better than Stonehenge?
Oh, it wouldn't be hard. Really excited about Stonehenge.
That's the review of the podcast.
Better than Stonehenge.
I'm still. I mean, it was 15 years ago. where I had to fork out 15 quid to go have a look.
Oh, I didn't realise it was so many years ago.
Where I can actually see inside from the fence, it's a bit like, I thought, I don't know, what a waste. Well,
Mona Lisa.
And yet,
not as
Mona Lisa.
Yeah,
Mona Lisa. You can talk about everything on podcasts about your.
Oh, we're not talking about rugby league. This has been a diversion.
This is great, and I think it's good. You got to get it all. I mean, that's why I like therapy. If it does help you solve the problem. I hope it solved. And although Phil brings it up, 68. I hope eventually you find solace in that.
You will.
It might be this May. Is it May the cup final this year? June.
That's usually the end. Yeah.
Yeah, they move it every year these days, though, Jamie. We never know when it's going to be. But maybe it'd be perfect in 2 years' time, wouldn't it? Because then it's an anniversary, and then we can but
go on about it. Yeah.
Yeah, just go on about it all the time anyway. But unless, of course, if you get to the wheelchair challenge cup final, which.
That'd be better against Leeds too.
Well, that would be perfect.
That would be the icing on the cake.
Unfortunately,
May the 30th.
May the 30th. Unfortunately, we got London in the first round, and they're quite good. So,
do they kick like goals in
you have
hand punt?
Yeah.
So they're playing a bit of AFL.
Bit of a
bit of AFL as well. The punt through
a kicking tee on a bit of drain pipe. One of my teammates has made a run. Yeah.
And they pump it.
Oh yeah.
So do they get the 1 point if they go underneath?
You can't go.
One underneath, like Aussie rules, and go.
No AFL score.
No, I didn't kick a goal, but hey, I still get 1 point.
No.
It's a bit like the 90s from an education point of view, where every kid got a what's that bloody thing? I always have fun at my daughters about it. Participation certificate.
Oh yeah, I used to get those at school because you can understand that I wasn't very good at.
Yeah, but you're there to come first, second, or third.
No.
You get a participation.
I got one for trying. Yeah.
Although you come 670 in your school, it's still.
Yeah. Well done for trying.
Needs recording.
You've got your.
That'll be in your garbage bag.
In your bag, yeah.
Mate. I tell you what, if I ever got one, mate, I would chuck away my toilet roll and just put it there.
I will find out my certificate for trying at PE, and I will bring it in next week if I can find it.
Oh, I wish I was around. I'd love to see that.
Oh, yes. If only they knew where my career would take me.
If only you knew.
Well, I know. If I end up on the bench, I'll be very, very happy.
Can I have a picture of it? If you,
I will
get Phil to post it
I'll send it to
you.
It definitely. I don't think the exact words were "he has tried," but it was something a lot. It was very flowery language to say exactly that same thing.
That'd be good. No, I'd appreciate it. I'd really put a little self photo of you at that period of time in your life, and so
it's like now, but a bit slightly slimmer.
Yeah.
And without the beard.
Yeah, I get that.
And known as Kenneth.
Yeah. I'm still thinking I might change my name for the so the RFL don't realise I'm the same person. But it's complicated.
It's funny when you mention that. It's funny when I introduce myself to people because my born name is James Sandy, and I've always been James Sandy. So it's when I became a rugby league player, it's Jamie Sandy, and then you meet people and they go, oh yeah, and you go. Yeah, how you going? James Sandy, how you going? Are you in relation to Jamie Sandy?
I was going to ask halfway through because you keep referring to yourself as James. I think, am I being rude in calling you Jamie?
And I go, Jamie, it's not that hard to figure out. It's just amazing how Jamie confuses people with James. And, I can understand if it was something like a different name altogether, but, it's like asking someone, Bob. I knew Rob. I didn't know Bob, but it's Well, anyway,
it's been an absolute pleasure. Oh, thank you for coming in and talking to us. The people have enjoyed it, so that's always good. So now next week it'll be a rubbish episode, and people will complain.
I think it deserves a biscuit.
I think it does.
Well, meant for me, not you.
Okay.
Enjoy the rest of your sojourn over here.
Did you say sunshine?
No, we don't get some.
No.
I thought you mean sarcastic.
No. I tried to say sojourn, but I pronounced it wrong.
Good,
I can't speak French either. But enjoy the rest of your time here, and if you ever come back, you're always welcome to come in. And Is that it, Phil? Is it, are we done?
I'm eating now.
We're eating now. We'll be back next week. Where's Ronnie the Rhino?
Super League will have started.
Super League will have started.
We could have done our
Ronnie.
predictions, but
Ronnie's going to wave goodbye. Wave goodbye. Thank you, Ronnie. Thanks to Jamie. Thanks to Phil. James. Thanks to Phil. And we will see you at the same time next week when we'll be talking about some rugby league and not being as entertaining.
Yeah.
And somebody who's also Australian will be shouting a lot.
Oh yeah. Well, we've got the new microphones next week. We'll try them out by not giving one to him.
Yeah. Put him in another room.